Okay, so when is the last time you really thought about car wash shampoo? More than just grabbing a bottle off the shelf at the store. It seems kind of trivial, maybe, an everyday thing. But, well, imagine a global market for just that product. And it's valued not just in millions, but pretty soon, maybe billions. Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to unpack the seemingly ordinary things and find the surprisingly big global industries hidden inside. Today, we're doing a deep dive into the global car wash shampoo market. Yeah, and we're drawing on insights from a detailed market research report. It's called Global Car Wash Shampoo Market Growth and Forecast 2021-2033. So our mission today really is to help you uncover the significant growth happening here. There are some fascinating regional shifts and honestly some forecasts that might surprise you. It's a market that seems niche, but is actually booming. We want you to understand what's driving it, what these big numbers mean, and why it might even matter. And let's hit you with the big numbers right away. Get this. Back in 2021, global sales, $721.707 million. And they think that's going to grow to $844.1 million by 2025. But wait, it gets bigger. The forecast goes out to 2033, and they're expecting it to hit, wow, $1,154.68 million. Okay, let's unpack this for a second. A market for car soap worth over $1 billion by 2033. That's really something. And it reflects the steady growth rate. The compound annual growth rate, or CAGR, is 3.9994%. Pretty consistent.
Yeah, and what's really striking, I think, isn't just the size, the sheer numbers, but how steady that growth actually is. It's very consistent. It suggests there's some pretty deep-seated consumer trends going on here, like a global commitment maybe to taking care of vehicles that's more than just a passing fad. It's not only about more cars on the road, it feels like a shift in how people think about maintaining their assets.
Right. A shift in mindset. And speaking of global, the regional picture is really dynamic, isn't it? Asia Pacific, according to the report, is really leading the charge in terms of growth potential. Their sales in 2021 were $304.56 million. And the forecast, it's set to basically skyrocket to over $500 million, $518.45 million by 2033. So what's behind that? What's driving such, explosive growth over in Asia Pacific? Is it just more cars? Or something else going on culturally or economically?
That's a really key question. I mean, yes, rising incomes and more people owning cars are definitely part of it, big factors. But we're also seeing how e-commerce has really taken off in Asia Pacific. It's made these kinds of specialized car care products way more accessible than before, especially in some emerging markets, where maybe the traditional shops aren't as developed. So this easy access online, plus a growing middle class that wants these things, it just fuels the boom.
Okay. E-commerce access.
Exactly. And when you break it down by country, you see the big players like China and Japan with really substantial expansion. China's market could nearly double. Japan's looking at over 50% growth, but the real standout, the one to watch, is India. It's projecting a SEAGR of 5.413%. That's nearly double the global average rate.
Wow, double the average.
Yeah. It makes it the fastest growing market in the whole APAC region. And that seems to be driven by, a couple of things. A surge in people buying their first car, and a rapidly expanding used car market. And, owners of used cars often invest a bit more in care products, trying to maintain the value and look of their vehicle.
Right, so it's not only the big players like China and Japan then, this is really spreading out.
Precisely. You see strong growth trajectories across other dynamic economies too, South Korea, Australia, Singapore, Taiwan. It really shows this is widespread adoption. There's like a growing detailing culture developing across the whole region.
Okay, interesting. Let's shift gears then. What about North America? You mentioned Asia Pacific leading in growth, but North America seems to have, real stability and is still a huge part of the market, right?
That's right. It shows incredible stability and, significant market dominance in terms of current size. His market size was about $180 million back in 2021, $179.705 million technically. And that's projected to reach $265.575 million by 2033.
And the U.S. is the big one there, I assume.
Oh, yeah, clearly the dominant force. The U.S. market alone was almost $150 million in 2021. It's expected to grow to over $217 million. But Canada and Mexico are also showing, pretty robust expansion as well.
So what's the take here? Why does North America, which is, a more mature market maybe, why does it keep seeing such steady demand? Is it just new cars being sold, or is there something about the car culture there?
That's a great point. What's compelling is just how established this market already is in North America.
Yeah.
It's not just about new car sales. It signals a very deeply ingrained culture around car maintenance, personal care for vehicles.
Yeah.
You've got this mix of DIY folks, the enthusiasts who love detailing their own cars.
Right, the weekend washers.
Exactly. And then you've got the thriving professional sides of car washes, the detailing businesses. Both of those create this consistent, reliable demand for these specific shampoos and products. It really suggests people see their car as a significant personal asset, something worth investing in to keep it looking good and lasting longer.
Okay, that makes sense. And Europe, how does it stack up?
Europe's also showing really solid performance. Its market was valued at just under $150 million dollars in 2021, $148.672 million. And that's projected to rise to $224.007 million by 2033.
And who's leading the pack in Europe?
Germany is definitely leading the way. Quite a bit of expansion expected there. The UK is also strong.
Okay.
And you see similar positive trends across the continent, really. France, Italy, Spain, all showing solid growth.
Even the smaller markets, too.
Yeah, even smaller European markets, places in Scandinavia, Central Europe, they're all showing positive movement. Countries like Sweden, Denmark, Switzerland. Europe's steady growth, I think, it just highlights how much value is placed on keeping vehicles looking good and, lasting a long time. It cuts across different economies there. It reinforces that idea that car care stuff isn't just a luxury item. It's kind of a standard part of owning a car.
Yeah.
Maybe linked to how people perceive the quality of European cars themselves. It's about retaining value.
An investment, yeah. And this growth story, it seems like it's not just confined to these, big three regions. The report shows it's pretty broad, right? Across other continents, too.
Absolutely. It's quite widespread. Take South America, for instance. Their car wash shampoo market is projected to grow from around $44 million to almost $73 million by 2033.
And Brazil's big there.
Brazil's leading, yeah. But Argentina is also showing strong growth. It's really quite remarkable, actually. It shows how fundamental this product category is becoming, even in emerging markets. In places like South America, as incomes go up and owning a car gets easier for more people, well, keeping that car looking good becomes more of a priority, especially maybe where the weather can be tough on car exteriors.
Good point. And the Middle East, Africa.
Similar stories. The Middle East saw a significant rise projected from about $27 million to over $45 million. You see notable growth in Saudi Arabia, Turkey, the UAE, and Africa too. Sometimes seen as, a newer market for some sectors, but its car wash shampoo market grew from over $17 million and is expected to hit about $28.4 million. South Africa and Nigeria are key drivers there.
Wow. So it really is global.
It is.
Yeah.
And this widespread expansion, in the Middle East, Africa, South America, it really connects back to those core drivers we mentioned earlier. Things like increased consumer awareness about taking care of your car and just a growing preference for using dedicated products, not just, dish soap or whatever.
Right.
As these economies develop, owning a vehicle becomes more than just getting from A to B. It's also about, maybe prestige, and definitely about preserving the asset's value. And the fact that there are so many different products available now, from basic washes to really advanced formulas with protection, that availability is meeting this growing demand.
What a deep dive this turned out to be. It's genuinely surprising when you see the scale, isn't it? And the consistency of the growth for car wash shampoo right across, pretty much every major region of the globe.
It really is.
It shows how a seemingly small, kind of everyday product, it actually reflects these really significant global economic trends, consumer behavior shift.
Exactly. It connects to growing economies, rising middle classes globally, and this increasing focus people have on taking care of their personal assets.
Yeah.
That's driving demand for even these quite specialized products.
So hopefully this deep dive has, maybe opened your eyes a little bit to the hidden economies that are all around us, humming away. And it leaves you with a thought, perhaps, if a market as specific as car wash shampoo can show such steady, widespread growth, what other overlooked everyday products might be revealing similar, really powerful global economic shifts? Makes you wonder, doesn't it?
Hello and welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're getting into something you might not think about much. Car wash shampoo.
Right? Sounds pretty mundane, maybe.
Exactly. But trust us, it's actually a surprisingly complex and, dynamic market. Our mission today is really to unpack what's driving its growth, the hurdles it's facing, and some of the really cool innovations shaping its future. We're basing this on the sources you've shared.
Yeah, and you'll see pretty quickly how this connects to bigger things.
Yeah, really will.
Yeah.
It touches on consumer habits, environmental concerns, technology. It's quite fascinating.
And it matters, It's tied to your car's value, sure, but also things like environmental responsibility. even just day-to-day convenience. There's definitely more to clean than meets the eye.
So let's jump into that growth first. What's really pushing this market forward?
Well, a big piece is just more cars on the road, especially in cities and sort of developing urban
Right,
areas.
more vehicles means more washing needed.
Yeah.
And people have a bit more disposable income, maybe. So they're investing in upkeep.
Exactly. It's about keeping the car looking good, maintaining that shine, but also, importantly, protecting its resale value down the line.
It's funny how buying a car ripples out like that.
Hmm.
But it's not just about more cars, is it? There's also this growing awareness among consumers.
Hmm. People are getting savvier. It's not just about, getting the mud off anymore.
No, it's about protecting the actual paint, the coatings, guarding against stuff like road salt, dirt, even UV rays.
And that applies whether you're washing it yourself or taking it to a professional detailer. Everyone's looking for better protection.
Which brings us to another point, the boom in professional car washes. The automated ones.
Oh, absolutely. Especially seeing that growth in developing economies. These places run constantly.
Creates a massive B2B demand, right? Business to business. They need tons of shampoo for their daily operations. It's all about convenience and getting consistent results for their customers.
That convenience factor is huge. But doesn't that scale also bring up cost issues? Which leads us nicely into the challenges.
Good point. What are the main hurdles then?
Okay, so first off, price sensitivity is a big one. It's kind of surprising, actually.
How so?
Well, many consumers and even some businesses will just grab, cheap household detergents instead of proper car shampoo.
Really? Even after spending maybe thousands on the car itself?
Yeah, it seems counterintuitive, right? Using something harsh that could damage the finish just to save a few bucks, it definitely impacts the uptake of those specialized, sometimes premium products.
And does that relate to brand loyalty or lack thereof?
It does, yeah. The market's crowded. Lots of products look similar, perform similarly, at least on the surface.
So people just grab what's cheap or available?
Often, yes. Makes it really tough for brands to build that loyalty, that repeat business.
Okay, so price, loyalty. What else? You mentioned environmental concerns earlier.
Right, that's probably the biggest challenge, and it's growing. Think about all the wastewater runoff.
From washing cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can contain some pretty harsh chemicals, detergents.
Exactly, and that's leading to stricter regulations in many places, sometimes restricting washing your car outdoors entirely or mandating the use of specific eco-friendly products.
Which must push up costs for the manufacturers, right? To reformulate.
It does. It increases formulation costs, and sometimes it can even limit where certain products can be sold or used easily. So accessibility becomes an issue too.
Okay, so challenges are definitely there, but challenges often spark innovation, don't they? What exciting trends are emerging?
That's the positive side, absolutely. We're seeing some really interesting solutions. The biggest trend is probably the move towards eco-friendly and biodegradable shampoos.
Makes sense given the regulations. So pH balance stuff.
Yeah, pH balance, meaning they're gentler on the car's finish compared to, say, dish soap. And crucially, biodegradable, so they break down safely. That's huge where wastewater laws are tight or water is scarce.
And speaking of water scarcity,
Hmm.
what are those waterless or rinse-free products? I've seen those around.
They're definitely gaining popularity, huge appeal. You need very little, sometimes no water at all.
Wow. Perfect for mobile detailers or people living in apartments without easy hose access.
Exactly. Convenience plus the environmental angle. It's a strong combination.
And then on the other end, maybe, are there more premium options emerging too?
Oh, for sure. We're seeing a rise in these multifunctional shampoos, premium stuff.
What do you mean by multifunctional?
Think shampoos that also have wax built in for shine, or UV protectants to shield against the sun. Some even include ceramic coating components.
Ceramic coatings, so they add a protective layer as you wash.
Basically, yeah, a durable protective layer. This kind of high-performance, value-added product really attracts the car enthusiasts and the professional detailers looking for top-tier results.
So despite the challenges like price sensitivity, the market is still growing overall.
It is. The projections show it growing somewhere around nearly 4% annually through 2033. It's this mix, really. More cars, these eco-innovations taking hold, and the professional side adapting. It all fuels the growth.
It really is fascinating how something as seemingly simple as car wash soap can tell us so much about, well, us. Our priorities as consumers, our growing environmental awareness, and just how technology keeps evolving.
Absolutely. From wanting our cars to look perfect to figuring out how to do that more sustainably, it reflects a lot.
So thinking about all these innovations, these pressures,
Yeah.
it makes you wonder, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Where does car care go next? What does this steady growth signal for how we maintain our vehicles personally and maybe for that bigger push towards sustainability and just our everyday routines?
Definitely something to think about. What is the next big shift?
Food for thought.
Indeed. Well, thank you for joining us for this deep dive.